What's up, guys, to episode 4 of the Necessary Conversations podcast. Can you believe it, babe? Already episode 4?
I cannot believe it.
We on the roll. We on fire.
Oh, yeah, we on something. No, we definitely on the roll. Thank you guys for tuning in and following us on our journey. It's definitely been fun.
You trying to play me, calling me out on every episode, but it's cool.
Hey, that's what keeps it fun, keeps it spicy.
Sure.
I know as we evolve, you'll be calling me out as well.
Oh, for sure.
We all know I ain't perfect, for sure. So, yeah. Oh. Really?
No, for real,
you
y'all.
trying to say I'm not perfect?
If I'm not perfect, you're not perfect. Because I am you and you are me. Nobody's perfect.
Nah, that's true.
Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. Oh, okay. No. Okay, bro.
Don't start the singing. Yeah, we just lost like 2 subscribers.
But no, for real, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe, join in on the conversation. We always love feedback.
Yeah.
Let us know how it's going, what you guys like to see more of. We even like a little bit of criticism, I guess.
Constructive criticism.
Yeah, I couldn't think of the constructive word part, but all of it. Let us know the feedback, y'all.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's how we get better. A lot of the times we just press record and start talking, but we're trying to take it a little serious. So feedback is helpful.
Definitely. As always, y'all, we're going to do our same style of just throwing those spontaneous questions at each other and see where the conversation goes.
Yes. Am I going first?
You went first the first 2 times, didn't you?
All right, so you go first.
All right.
What you got?
Let's do this. Let's go with... Let's just start with something like a little icebreaker. Is it okay to share food from each other's plates?
Tell me how I had that question on mine too.
Because we like,
man,
you think
you was looking at my phone.
No.
I said you was said, She was
this
like,
guy.
she was
This
peeking
guy.
over here, man.
This guy.
So for me, that's a hard no. Because first of all, I don't like eating off people, especially when it comes to like that creamy stuff that have creamy sauces and all that.
Yogurt.
Never. That is disgusting. Like anything that has any type of creaminess to it. What? That's just too much germs. But in general, no, because my food is my food, your food is your food, and if you want more of that food, go get your own shit. Even
You're
though
rude.
How is that rude?
Because I'm your significant other. That's rude.
And that's why
I would let
we
you
have
share my
more,
ice cream, my yogurt.
That's
all
why
of
we
that.
have more of the food available that you can just go grab instead of what's on my plate. Right?
No, because what if it's something different? What if I got something different, you got something different? Like when we order different stuff at a restaurant.
Well,
so you mean to tell me you wouldn't take a bite out of my burger?
The question is off of my plate. So I would
Same
separate that on a different plate for you if you want to try it versus you just trying to put all your germs all on my shit. No.
You
it's
get
nasty.
my germs anyway.
That is
this
correct.
This is not a PG-13 podcast.
Yeah, clearly.
But
yeah.
So no, it's a hard no for you. And for me, you can share off my plate. I don't care. You can drink after me. You can Okay, y'all, I'm gonna be full disclaimer here. I'm gonna just be transparent with y'all. I am a female that
Oh, you about to talk about
so I am a female that I have floaties. Like from birth, my family used to talk about me and how I would have floaties. And if I would drink after them, they would just be like, okay, you can have it because you got a lot going on. So look, y'all,
real,
I think one of the, what was it, like the second or third time? I think even the second time that we kissed, I had just got done eating something and didn't know, And he went to go kiss me and he came back like, what? It was definitely a piece of little piece of crumb on it.
Exactly. Cause you nasty. You just messy. Cause I like that to me is so disgusting. Like
that's what true love is.
It's not true love. That is just disgusting. Like it's some wet food. That been in your saliva. That's like there's not too many things besides like waste, human waste. That's worse than that.
No, human waste compared to like floaties
some
or like
wet, nasty food
that came from my mouth.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
No, that's not that bad.
Okay.
So yeah.
In her opinion.
Clearly. So no for you. Yes,
For you,
for me,
you just don't give a fuck.
No, like I don't care. Period.
You're nasty.
Even with ice cream.
Yo, you.
I'm about to make you throw up on camera.
Yeah, for real.
Because even with ice cream, no, I don't want you like. You cannot lick off my ice cream cone. But if I give you like a spoon or something, go for it.
Even the parts that you've already licked off, you would let them eat
clearly,
that?
if it's an ice cream cone. Now, even because what if the ice cream is in a bowl? You know, you take your own spoon.
Yeah, but that got their own salivas. Then it's mixing your saliva, mixing
it. It's not as bad
as
with the licking it off the ice cream cone though.
It's you still every time you put your spoon back inside of that bowl, that's saliva.
Fine.
Saliva and milk is disgusting. You ain't what? No, the fuck you ain't. Speaking of food, I had a question. I already know you ain't. So drums or flats with chicken wings?
You already know what I'm on. Give me the flats because drums. What is that? What are we doing with this? Drums and then you just no. No drums. You doing too much.
So,
give me my flats.
The drums are way better though, and this is real life. It's because the flats you got to do more work.
I knew you was gonna say that, but not really. You could just some people actually just stick the whole flat in their mouth and.
Them the people that got special talents.
I bet.
I'm just saying, them the people that yeah, they got a little night job they don't want you to know about.
Anyways, you know, so it's not that
off
bad.
the bone as we call it.
So yeah.
But the drumsticks is just more easy because boom, you just go boom, boom, boom 3 times around the bone. That shit don't sound right. But like you know what I'm saying, like
anyways,
like you don't have to split the bones and like it's just the flats is just it's just more work. And I feel like the drums be having more meat on them though.
No, I have to disagree. And
really?
Yes, I'm serious. But with the flats, you can still do 3 times, like bite one side, bite the other side, and then push the other side through. You don't necessarily got to rip them apart.
But that's too much. Why?
It's not. It's
all
the
that
same
type
thing
of
as
coordination.
A drum. It's the same thing as a drum.
No, it's not.
It is because you just said 3 times around the bone, boom, boom, boom.
No.
3 times around the flat, out, twist, out. Get the meat in the middle.
The meat in the middle part is just too much, and then you end up losing meat because it be stuck to the bones.
Flats is so good. I want some.
And plus, too, you know, I like my chicken fried hard, so it's like.
Oh, that's why.
So the drumsticks. The drumsticks for the most part usually be like.
Yeah.
Like the more harder fried part of the meat to me.
No, because when it's fried hard, then the flat is drier. It's like I don't know that it don't work out because that's where the skin is. Like I don't want to say where the skin is. Like how the skin is on the flat when you cook it hard. That's kind of like all you're eating is just dry, crunchy.
I'd rather have my shit dry, cooked hard.
No, thank you.
Yeah, but drums, it's just easier to cook.
Flat.
Easier to eat, from my opinion.
Flats.
Not at all.
Anyways, all right, let's go. Let's bump it up a notch. Chivalry in modern dating, outdated or essential?
That's definitely outdated.
What's so outdated about it?
It's outdated because.
So that's why you don't pull out my chair.
Yeah, I don't do that.
Or
because
open the car door for me.
First of all, I don't think there's like a very small fraction of like 3% of men that actually pull out open car doors and all that kind of shit.
Well,
that
I guess
is
you
not
can't
a
even
thing.
look it up.
No, and it depends on the situation too. Like if we're going out somewhere where it's like it's a romantic kind of evening, yes, you know, I would do that for you. Clearly, if it's a special event, but like. If we're just fucking going to Walmart, I'm not opening a car door for you.
Right? Why does it have to be a special event, first of all?
Because like we're past that stage.
Why? Who said that? Who?
It's the way how the world is nowadays. This is exactly the reason. It's kind of like how back in the day a man would take off his shirt and put it on the freaking puddles and shit like that. But it's the same thing. Now, if you see how your face was, if a man was to do that, you'd be like, oh. So now you just out here with no shirt and now we can't go inside restaurants like.
Okay.
So you gotta make it make sense.
I don't think that it's outdated. Okay, here's my perspective. I don't think that it's outdated.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a very like wow, like a gentleman thing of you, like.
You just saying anything
No,
right now.
I don't think it's outdated. I think it's very polite, and it shows the kindness.
It shows you fucking with probably a cent.
Here you go.
Because in today's world, women don't want that kind of shit.
So I was getting to that because you better hold the damn door for me. For sure.
That's
part of chivalry.
That's a given.
That's part of chivalry. It is, because there's men that won't hold the door.
That's different though.
It's a part of chivalry to me. I do think that it is. But I am still the type of female
I've always opened the doors for people.
I guess it's
men and women. I mean, it's kind of like the thing to do as a well-mannered person is open, like hold the door for somebody. Like
so even still in the instance of you open the door, but then would you go through first or let your lady go through?
Let the lady go through first.
Exactly. That's a part of chivalry. Because as a man, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't be like, go ahead, brother. Like you wouldn't open the door and be like, go ahead, bro. Go in. You know? Like if it's an older man, then probably.
Maybe.
So that's what I'm getting at. Like I guess within the romantic setting, you wouldn't open the door, go through, and then hold it. No, you would let her go through first. Like that's to me, that's part of chivalry.
Yeah, but so I feel like as a whole, like so that's one facet of being chivalrous. Right, just kind of
like all over, holding the door,
but
opening the car doors, pulling out the chair, pushing her in.
Yeah,
you feel like that's outdated?
I think some of it is outdated though. You know, like because truthfully, it's like you go to most restaurants, there's either a booth. And then, booths, you're not about to be sliding out no booth door. I mean, no booth chair, not like that. Or, like, if there are seated chairs there or whatever like that, it's like, I mean, it's just, I think it's not like it's a personal preference that I wouldn't do. It's just like, I feel like it's just outdated. Like, we don't do that anymore.
But why, though?
Because I feel like it's not a requirement from women. So it's like, as a man, it's like,
let me ask you this,
why would we do it?
Because, no. Because I feel like some women would be like, oh, that would be nice if you put on my chair, open the car door for me, so on and so forth. But then if women should say that, you know how you men get down and be like, oh, here she goes, she asking for too much. You don't think it'll be that then?
I think it would matter on the societal expectations in that dating range or dating field or whatever. So, and what I'm saying is that like if this was a time where it was more of traditional dating, where it's like, things were a lot less modern, which is modern dating is like, okay, everybody's on the independent shit, I don't need nobody, the dynamic is different. So if it was less of that, then it would be more of like, okay, let me be more chivalrous while I'm dating someone. You know what I'm saying? But
so it's kind of like an overall thing from the female and male perspective then, right? Is that overall, what you're saying? Like as far as cuz you mentioned like that whole independent mindset. Mm-hmm. You're speaking of that from like a female perspective, like how most females nowadays think.
Yeah, females and men. Like everybody's more like independent. Like they like, right. I don't need. It's kind of like I don't need you to do that kind of thing. Like that's kind of the undertone of most dating and relationships. It's like I don't need you to do that. So it's like for the most part, I speak for men. Men are like, well, shit. If you don't need me to do it, I ain't gonna fucking do it.
Whereas kind of back in the day, females
expected that.
Right.
That was the normal expectation. Like a woman would, she probably wouldn't even sit down until you like, she would be looking at the chair like, are you
standing there like,
are you gonna move the chair? But now you, like, if you walk around, you pull the chair out, she'll probably be like, what you doing? Like you created a whole awkward ass moment for like no reason. You know what I'm saying? Because most women ain't trained to be like that nowadays.
Interesting.
So to me, it's like, it's not that I would say men don't want to do it. It's just like... Yeah,
I see what you're saying. Outdated just because of the way the world is.
Yeah, it's different. It's just different times, like where people don't, chivalry isn't as respected in today's dating as it was 20, 30 years ago.
Okay, yeah, because I guess the technical question was, what was it, outdated or essential?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I would say it's outdated. You know what I mean? Now, do I think things should go back to that way and I would correct a lot of the issues we have in our dating society today? Of course I will. Will it? No. then we can tell why. I mean, turn on social media and see what's going on in the world.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, it's different out here.
Yeah, okay, that's true. And then even from like I said, again, from my perspective, I'm not that type of female either. So yeah, you better hold the door for me for sure. But as far as like ever like getting into the car and all that, like
I think it's like a
pulling my chair out.
Exactly.
Because then how do you know how far that I want to be pushed in?
Exactly. Like just weird little shit like that.
Up to the table.
Weird stuff like that, but it's real talk.
Yeah,
it's like it's like, is that okay? A little bit more.
Exactly.
A little bit back. Like, what the fuck? Like, no. Like, I mean,
get off me! I got it.
Yeah, like exactly. You gonna be like, I got it, buddy. Move. So I don't know.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, but that was a good question though.
That is funny.
Yeah, because I'm big on all that gender role stuff.
Don't we know?
For another episode, guys.
Yeah, for real.
All right. So my question: what's the number one quality you look for in a great friend?
That's a good question. The number one quality I look for in a good friend or a great friend.
A great friend.
A great friend. The number one quality. Cause I got it.
Yeah, she wasn't ready for that one.
Oh yeah, that is it gotta be one quality.
The one quality. That's what makes it hard.
It is hard because and a great friend.
Got him.
Clearly. Okay, so let me just break it down like this in my head. So I like to have friends that are goofy, that are selfless, that are caring. But I kind of feel like caring can go into selfless. But no, I'm going to keep it separate. So goofy, selfless, caring, I don't want to say thoughtful, but I'm thinking of a different word where we're able to get deep with each other. So I don't know what word I'm looking for with that, but it's kind of like, because when I'm thinking about even with my great friendships that I have now, we're able to kind of like talk about
vulnerability.
Yeah, I guess be vulnerable. Okay, yeah, that's a good word. So yeah, so vulnerability, selfless, caring, and goofy. So I think I'm gonna go with being I'm gonna do vulnerable.
Vulnerability.
Yeah.
So the ability. So the number one quality would be the ability to be vulnerable.
Yeah. Yep.
That's good.
And I guess I base that a little bit because of who I am.
Yeah. Whereas
like I'm
Naya's
not
an open book.
For sure. Like what's up? We about to talk about this. Open up.
Oh yeah. Ain't that Naya? Naya's like, I want to talk about everything.
Just asking you. So if you don't mind me asking,
can you elaborate more?
No, for real. Like, how does it make you feel if you don't mind?
Oh, that's the question. Oh. How does it make you feel? I'd be like,
because I want to know, baby.
I'm like, all right, man, let me pull out the book.
Oh, here you go.
Like,
that's because you be so stonewall there. Like, don't do that.
Stoicism.
Ooh. Anyways, you
Another
answered
video.
the question.
For me, I would say the number one quality I would look for in a great friend would be resourcefulness. You know, I feel like, the most impactful friendships from a male perspective is how beneficial the relationship is, and not just, I'm not talking about money, but I'm just saying from a perspective of, okay, if I need help with something, are you available? Meaning, like, if I need help with some type of, mental block that I'm going through, or some type of, some type of coaching issue, or if I, if I need help fixing my car. I mean, something useful. Like, I think the best male relationships is when you have two men or a group of men that are all resourceful to some degree, and they can all like help each other out with stuff. You know what I mean? Because every man has a different skill set.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what I look for really, is like, well, what could this person bring to my life that I don't already have, and vice versa.
What word did you use for that? What quality?
Resourceful.
Right.
Resourcefulness.
Right.
You know, like I look for a person that's resourceful, and not just for me, but in their own lives. You know, like are they kind of doing a bunch of things? You know, can they work with their hands? Can they, you know, are they like a genuine, you know, good guy to be around? You know what I'm saying? Versus, you know, it's kind of like having the difference between male friends that all they know how to, the best things they could do is show up when it's time to drink and smoke. But like, if you needed to, I don't know, fix your garage door, they like, I don't know, shit, I ain't got no tools, I don't know nothing about nothing. You know, you're like, man.
So, but if I had a J, you'd be, I'm over there,
man,
bro.
Man, about to roll up, bro. What's up, man? Shit, I got like 2 grams in the bag. Like man, look.
Right. What else can you offer? Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That clearly showed that's both of us for real.
Yeah.
Kind of based off of how we are for real. Yeah,
you got to be resourceful. You know, I mean, I think, especially moving into 2024, you know, 2024 for a lot of people is the year where a lot of people ain't fucking around. It's like, look, we got to get shit done.
And I really hope that's the case, because we say that every year, and then we be like, yeah, so 2024 flew right by, like. No, but let's get on it.
Yeah,
for real.
But I feel like the vibe nowadays is like people
real
are just
heavy.
like yo, fuck this. They like yo.
They tired.
Yeah, probably.
Tired, boss.
Chill. Yeah, I think that's the vibe now. So it's like when you thinking of having a person into your circle, you like, okay, how can me and this person jug, you know, versus outside of just clubbing and drinking and smoking. Yeah, fuck all that. You know, what can we put together to build some type of community or some type of, you know, invest in some shit, something like that.
Yeah.
So that's where my head is at anyway.
That's good. That was a good question.
Hey, you know what I'm saying?
Whatever.
So, your turn.
All right. All right. Communication styles. Is open dialogue or silent understanding more effective in a relationship?
Damn.
You ain't just coming from me, baby. I'm coming from you too, because we done had this conversation before plenty of times.
Damn.
Is open dialogue or silent understanding more effective in a relationship?
That's tough. That's a tough one, man. I ain't gonna lie. That's a tough one because
going toe for toe.
Yeah, that was a good question. Damn, I would say, you know, my gut wants to go with open dialogue because, you know, there's a higher chance. So I believe in over communication, right? You know, as far as when it comes to important matters.
Okay, elaborate on that. And guys, it's gonna be a little hostility because listen, we've grown a lot in communication. Still, some days we're about ready to, you know. But elaborate on that. Things that, for example, just give an example of what may really.
So
matter.
when it comes down to like our kids, so when our children, and it comes to our kids, there needs to be an open dialogue about everything involving our children.
Open dialogue over communication.
Yes. But that's kind of, cause if it's an open dialogue, I'm just assuming that we're going to be over communicating about issues, right? So, because in an open dialogue type of format.
Right.
So to me, I'm like, okay, so if say if something's going on, like, you know, we changed one of our kids' diet, we changed some type of, you know, product they're using or something like that, I feel like that needs to be over communicated versus just be like, oh, well, I'll bring it up whenever. You know what I'm saying? Versus the other side of it, which is like, you know, I feel like certain things don't need to be over communicated. Like if Naya's out shopping or say if I'm out shopping going to the store, if I stop after work to go to the store, I don't feel like I need to communicate that. You know what I mean? Because it's a simple thing. It's like, why do I need to tell you if I'm stopping somewhere to go to a store or whatever like that, or vice versa? Like it's a small detail. It's not that important. It doesn't hold that much weight. So I feel like you can over communicate about certain things, but not everything. You know what I'm saying? I know you. Yeah, that's a Yeah, we've gotten into a lot of arguments about that kind of shit.
Definitely, and we gonna leave it at arguments this time because it really be like So, although we both agree on each other's standpoint, so let me say this: y'all heard his standpoint, and my standpoint is, I feel like open dialogue is more effective in anything that we talk about. Once again, we kind of operate, or I feel like sometimes we expect things based off of how we are.
Yes.
And that, and that could be true for most relationships. So because he's the type of person that's used to, let me just go about and do what I'm about to do. It took a little bit for him, and even some stuff to this day that he is going to communicate about, and he's not. Even if he's tried, it may not be consistent just because of how he just processes stuff. And same with me, like he said, the example of maybe stopping after work. We've had this discussion before where, I feel like, okay, if I got off of work and we connect, I'm like, hey, if I got off work at 5:00, we connect and I don't walk in the house till 7, and we know that it don't take that long to get home from work, why leave that room, I guess, to be like, oh, well, is everything all right? Or what happened? Did you stop? I would just communicate that information. I would just say like, oh, babe, real quick before I stop at home, I got to pick up some bread, or I got to run to Publix, or I got to go get me some, toenail glue. I don't know, but I'm going to communicate that. So I feel like open dialogue in all areas is more effective. And I'm going to be real. And I feel like, and once again, this could be with any relationship, any person, when there has been discussion about communication, and then the silent understanding is what each other may have thought could work, is when, how do I put this, is when either party has not, I don't know how to put, okay, when there's silent understanding, I feel like it's because somebody doesn't want to speak up about whatever has been discussed before. If you see where I'm going.
Okay. And
yeah,
you feel like they don't want to speak up about it because it's going to cause an issue.
Correct, I do, because if we supposed to communicate, it's like, well, what's wrong with, so I guess for instance, let me just use, most men may go blow off some steam if that's going for a walk, going for a drive, whatever it's going to be. And say for instance,
shots fired.
Say for instance, if your significant other is like, hey babe, I don't mind you going for a drive, but at least let me know that that's what's going down.
Right.
And some men may be like,
Here it comes.
Okay, cool. And there's been times where he's kind of voiced like, hey, I don't feel like I should have to mention that. If I wake up and see that you're gone or early, whatever the case may be, whenever you dip off or whatever, if I'm not calling you, you're not calling me, there's a silent understanding like, all right, well, clearly he went for a drive, or he went to go, just do his me time. Same, and I feel like that's with any area, even with me. Like, what's one thing that we've had where, I guess in the instance of me maybe changing stuff around the house or with the kids or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, for real, just being transparent. I feel like it is a silent understanding where it's like, hey, and we've talked about it before, where I kind of feel like, well, I took him to the doctor, I handled it, I got it. The silent understanding should be, this is what's going down now. So it's like,
no, I understand.
But if that's more effective, I don't believe so. That's how most people wind up getting into it though, because it's like, why didn't you just say that? What's wrong with just saying that, on either side?
So I got one just to close this point out. Is I would say that the silent understanding can be more effective when the level of trust between the two people is at a very high level, and the level of understanding between the two people are at a very high level, because once after a while, you don't have to.
Yeah.
You know, it's and kind of where my mind goes with a lot of the stuff is like, if you have to over communicate the very minute details about life, then I feel like almost in a sense you're making a case for things all the time. Like, I'm making a case why you should trust me. You know, like, hey babe, just so you know I'm doing A, B, C, D. It's like, well, did I really need to tell you that? You know, and if I am telling you that kind of stuff, am I telling you because like I know you don't trust me and that's why I'm telling you that? Or am I doing that to out of consideration for your feelings, which may be an insecurity that you may have, which still boils down to trust?
I mean, that's true,
You know?
and I do agree with that, because you know it is like so for instance, if your man blow off steam and you know that's what he does, then yeah, that's how I understand. It's like, okay, well, clearly I know this is what he does maybe when he's going through this or going through that, and then you can maybe address it
Right.
differently. Not that he actually went to go take his time, but start to have that dialogue, like, is everything all right, or is there anything you want to talk, you know, whatever y'all do.
Mm-hmm.
So I do agree, but even in your case of, I guess, communicating about it, it's either way, insecurities, trust, whatever, why not? Why not? You know?
I would say you're right, but I would say, but why so? Like, why do you
Of course.
like, why do you need to? You know, because it's like, you know, to again, you know, we're kind of belaboring this point, but
Yeah, right.
you know, if you have different things, like say if you have a day where you know you want to knock out some shopping or whatever, and then you happen to take the kids to the park, or you happen to, you know, go and stop at, you know, one of your friends' house or whatever like that, I genuinely don't care. You know, like that. If you tell me or not, doesn't matter. It's not going to affect my day. It's not going to make me think differently. Like, I'm just going to assume that clearly you're a responsible adult. You're making responsible decisions because I trust you. So yeah, I don't need to know all these details. Now, if I have to start thinking like, I wonder where she stopped at, you know, I wonder what she do, then clearly there's a bigger problem.
Okay, but even okay, and I know we are going on about it, because it can be broad, but so say for instance, even if it's not necessarily insecurity or trust, what if you have something planned for us? In that basic communication, to be like, hey, we went into the park, or we went into so-and-so house.
That would be communicated beforehand. Like, I'd be like, hey, babe.
How do you know?
Oh, hell no. I am not about to plan something out.
Maybe
and
it wasn't
and leave
even
some,
something planned,
leave
like
some opportunity for trust.
extravagant.
If I got something planned, I'm gonna be like, hey, babe. So at 5 o'clock.
Okay, so
we doing something?
Yeah, but even something simple. Remember, I think Nolan was younger, so it's not a big deal. But the day I think you went to go get pizza and he was with you, and I was waiting on y'all to come back because either he had to take a bath or I don't know, something like that. But it had took a little, or maybe you went to go pick up the pizza and Nolan was eating pizza that night and we were waiting on you to get back or something like, I don't remember. But even something simple like that, it's like, well, if you were about to stop at a store or make a few stops to take care of something, simple just basic being like, hey, I gotta run here, so I can be like, oh, you know what? Maybe he's not gonna eat pizza. Let me just find something in the house or throw something together real quick so he can still be to bed on time, or we're not waiting thinking that daddy's about to be right home with pizza, or you know, just whatever.
Right, because I think that was a time where there was, because I didn't know that Nolan was going to be in pizza.
Right,
I
exactly.
I got you.
And that could have been on both our end, where I could have spoke up and said, hey, we're eating pizza tonight with you, or you know, daddy could have been, hey, I got to make another stop real quick, I'll be home right, whatever. Just to me, that's where my mind goes, where it's just basic, where even the smallest things could be blown out of proportion just because parties didn't communicate.
Right. No, that's a good call.
So that's all. That's where, to me, it's like, I'd rather just say, hey, like my family always teach me, y'all, you can't say that you didn't know, because I told you that I was stopping at Publix on the way home.
Man, you say so, baby.
I'm saying.
You say so. So, what emotion do you find the most difficult to describe?
I've seen that question too. I guess for me, and this is not okay, so for me, the emotion that it was hard for me to describe was, I guess it's depression. Because until I got into therapy and she basically described to me how I get when I'm depressed, I wasn't able to articulate that. So, for instance, we've had our spats about when I'm feeling quote unquote tired, and it may not even be physically, or it could be physically, or when I go into that hole, it's just physically and mentally, emotionally, like I'm just tired. She basically described it as where you get in these bouts of quote unquote being tired or having low motivation for stuff, even if you may be, I don't know. Sometimes if you're physically okay, you could still have that mental thing where you're just like, I'm tired. Yeah, like I'm just tired. And you're blaming it being tired. You're blaming it on being tired, but it's not necessarily tired. It's like your emotions are like taking, I don't know, so that, if you see what I'm saying, it's just hard for me to describe me being depressed. As I get older, I'm starting to realize when I'm starting to feel like that and different things to, I guess get over that. But for me, it's hard to describe depression. A lot of people around me can kind of tell when I get depressed quicker than I can.
Right.
So.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Your turn.
So I would say, and this is where I kind of get a little bit too analytical, because I'm like, well, emotion, exactly what emotion? I would say, well, is depression really an emotion? I would say it's probably a state of being, and then the emotion would be sadness. But either way, we'll stay on that theme where I'm like, okay, so what emotion would I find difficult to describe? I would say, to be honest, it's always been, it's something I had to learn a little bit more about myself, was learning what's imposter syndrome, right? And because, me coming from the background I came from, where, we were, struggling most of the time, poor, not having much, not having anything, to get into a point where like you start to elevate to a level of life where things are really good. It's part of you that you don't know if you really deserve it or not. Like, even though you work for it, and like you deserve everything you have and you deserve to be here, there's part of you that never really acknowledges that, to say, hey, like, or sometimes you can forget like everything that you did to get there. You know what I'm saying? So what that'll look like is like you'll start downplaying what you do, what you have done. You'll start putting people on pedestals that don't necessarily deserve to be on a pedestal. And I had to learn over time, like, because when you come from a lower socioeconomic background, there's psychological changes that you have to go through to go from the bottom level to the top, or or progress. It took me a while to understand that. Because that's why you see people that are poor, when they hit the lottery, they're poor in like 2 or 3 years, because they haven't developed their mind to accept the identity of being rich, right? So that was something I found difficult to describe, because when I was actually going through the different phases of my life and my career, I always felt this weird energy, like when I would get around certain like business settings and like corporate environments and all that kind of stuff, I would feel like weird. Like I wouldn't feel like my normal confident self. I would be like, damn, why the fuck do I feel like off? Like I feel like I can't express myself well. And it would be because I was not giving myself the credit to say, hey, I've worked myself to this position, so I deserve it, versus me saying, oh,
kind of like you don't deserve to be here. Why am I here?
Yeah. It took me a while to understand that was what was actually happening behind the scenes.
So you would say that imposter syndrome is a feeling, is an emotion?
I would say imposter syndrome is it's a state of being, or it's a mindset. I don't know if I would say it's an emotion though.
Right.
Because an emotion is like, you got happy, sad,
right.
So I don't
Interesting.
know. But that's why I was saying, like, emotion. I don't know if we're drilling on the emotional part of it.
Because we always do this for our episodes, so just to look it up to make sure. So I put is depression and emotion. Depression differs from sadness. The feelings you have will affect all aspects of your life. It may be hard or even impossible to find enjoyment in anything, including activities and people you used to enjoy. Depression is a mental illness, not an emotion.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and that's like I would say imposter syndrome is like a mental, could be a mental illness maybe, or a mental state, but not really an emotion. But yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good though.
Yeah.
If you tend to doubt your own skills and accomplishments despite what others think, you have imposter syndrome. It's not an actual mental health condition. Imposter syndrome is a behavioral health phenomenon described as self-doubt of intellect, skills, or accomplishments among high-achieving individuals.
Yeah.
A behavioral health. So
among high-achieving individuals, which is that's very, very specific to say that, because I can definitely understand, like when I've listened to interviews with other famous people that have made it far, there's a lot of musicians and actors and celebrities that have dealt with the same kind of thing because of their identity hasn't had time to adjust to the level of success that they've achieved.
Interesting. Yeah, we could go down this rabbit hole all day long because even still, like you said, I don't think we really touched on emotion, but it's still
it's something that was that took some time to actually understand. Right. Or because I knew it took me a while to really understand why I was feeling like that. Like at first I was just like, damn, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, I don't know. And then you start digging into it and you're like, oh, there's a word for this shit.
Yeah, for real.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But we still didn't, so what? I don't think we can bring up an emotion then, right? Because I guess the basic emotions I would know.
Yeah, the basic emotion on what I was saying would be, damn.
Because I understand when I'm feeling, how I'm feeling. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd have to think about that.
Yeah, that was an interesting question for real.
Yeah, that was different.
Because those things, I guess, can spark up different types of emotions.
Yeah. Yeah, like I think if we had like a chart full of emotions that we can point one out, then I'm like, oh, it was this emotion, But I think we're just thinking of like different states of being, versus like just one singular emotion. That's what I think.
We got some research to do.
Clear.
Yeah, that was good though. Those were some good questions. We did it this time.
Hell yeah. Nah, that was fun.
Coming for each other more and more, huh?
Trying to get me, man.
No, you trying to get me, but once again, guys, we thank you so much for tuning into the Necessary Conversations podcast. Episode 4 is complete. I'm telling you, I always get this stuff.
For real, episode 4 is complete. We're enjoying this process more and more. We're getting our little bearings together, trying to keep our kids down while we do this. So it's a lot of timing involved. So for all you other, viewers out there that's trying to start your own podcast or whatever, guys, it's all about timing. As soon as you put them kids to bed, you better have it set up and just go. Cause man, you saw last episode we had the baby on the set. It's real life, man. So.
Yeah, for real. We just want to thank y'all so much, for real. Sticking, hanging there with us, and you might see our kids here and there, but what can we say?
Yeah, for sure. We're gonna be doing this for a long time. Regardless of how many subscribers we're getting and all that. I think this is something that is therapeutic for us both. To just be able to get out in front of a camera, express ourselves, talk about what we go through on a day-to-day basis, which is pretty isolated because it's just us. Mm-hmm. But, so we at least get a little bit of engagement with our thoughts. So appreciate y'all.
Of course.
Episode 4, done. It's a wrap. See y'all next week.
See ya.